Oh my gosh, I'm ecstatic to be alive, and I pray to God you are as well. Welcome, welcome, welcome to Sandra's Authors Forum Talk Show. We have an amazing guest, and I can hardly wait to introduce her to you. Ladies and gentlemen, will you do me a huge favor? Go to an YouTube channel and subscribe, and tell your friends. Tell a friend to tell a friend that we have great conversation about many topics tonight. You want your questions answered? You better come on, type them in the comment section because, oh my gosh, we are going to have great dialogue. We're going to talk about some tough topics. Yeah, those topics that nobody talks about. Well, tonight, I introduce you to the author. Her name is, what is it? LaDonna McAbee. Will you please help me welcome her to the stage? Hi, LaDonna. How are you?
I am wonderful. Thank you, my beautiful friend, for having me tonight. I'm so excited to be here and just tell my story.
Oh, I am so happy that you chose this platform to share your story on. I'm just elated that you're here today, and we are going to ask you some questions about your life, about your business, and about your family, and about your grandchildren. Yes, we're going to talk about all of it tonight. All right, are you ready? Are you ready?
I am ready, and I would like to just start with a prayer, please. And just, Lord, I just come to you tonight to say, please lift the burden of anyone that has any kind of abuse going on in their lives, mental or physical, sexually. Just heal those souls and heal their minds and hearts, and just let them know they're not alone and that there's people here to help. Amen, Lord. Thank you so much.
Oh, wow. LaDonna, you're starting off really, really good tonight. You're starting it off really good because prayer changes things. So, my first question is, what has been your push?
I think my push has been not wanting to be the way I was brought up. I
Mm,
didn't want to be that person. I didn't want to be like those people. I was going to make a difference in this world. I was going to overachieve in any way I could.
well,
The
what?
mindset,
Go ahead.
your mindset has to be right. And you have to try to stay, even in the hard times, you've got to try to find positivity. And there's always someone, even though you think that you have the most rottenest time going on right now, someone does have it worse. Try to keep positive and be a
Yes.
giver. Help.
Yes, yes. We thank Elaine for Dr. Elaine for showing up tonight. We appreciate you. Listen, LaDonna, from your vantage point as a child, how was your childhood?
My childhood was very rough. I come from a family that had very little money. And don't get me wrong, we always had a shelter over our head. We always had some kind of clothing and we never went hungry. But the abuse, mental, physical, psychologically, it was just every abuse, the sexual abuse, it was all there. And, no, you never know what goes on behind closed doors. That is for
Exactly.
sure.
Exactly. And so, how old were you when this sexual abuse began?
The sexual abuse began when I was 10 and it went on for 5 years off and on, not every day. Just, it seemed like when things got rough for my parents, that's when it would happen. The physical abuse started even younger. And my story is in the Cinderella monologues, and it took me many years to talk myself in to writing my chapter because I wanted to write the chapter though. It wasn't that I didn't want to do it. I wanted to do it, but I wanted to make sure that I was mentally ready and prepared. And last year I was ready and I gave it my all.
I appreciate you. You start off by saying you were born in Arkansas and you were the baby girl. You said born in a small town in Arkansas, was a baby girl whose parents lived in poverty. What did poverty look like?
For me, and of course, everybody's poverty is different, and I realize that. My dad never learned to read or write. He went to fourth grade, and then, they worked in the cotton fields. Both of my parents did as children. My mother went to school until sixth grade. She did learn to read some and write some. But my mother didn't work. She was a stay-at-home mom. My dad would work. I mean, he did work and he worked hard because, not being able to read and write, you didn't get the elite jobs for sure. But I remember being very young. We moved quite a few times, just what I remember about early, 3 years old, 4 years old. But then when we were 4, we moved into a house that had 2 bedrooms, a living room, kitchen, and 1 bathroom.
Wow.
And there were 4 of us at that time.
Yes.
So, and there were no privacy. There was no bathroom door. There was no carpeting on the floor. There was no peace. But we did have a roof over our head. So I'm sure, like I said, no matter how hard you think you have it, someone else has it worse.
Yes, my mom always said that. She said, the grass is not greener on the other side. And she said, be thankful for what you have because it could be worse, And
Yes.
So she taught us gratitude. And what I hear from you is regardless of the situation that happened, I want you to go ahead and detail and tell us, tell us who the perpetrator was.
The sexual abuse was with my father. Yes. My sperm donor, my real father. There was no stepdad. It was my real father. And and my real mother, I didn't speak out. And I was told that if I spoke out, then, my mother didn't even know that I know of. I think maybe she did, but I didn't know. But it went on for 5 years and off and on, not every day. Like I said, when they would fight, that's usually when it would happen, even with her in the house. But also my mother, once she found out, she continued living there and sleeping in his bed and letting it happen to others. And, for so long, I thought it was just me. So it was okay because it was just me. Mm-hmm. That's the way I felt for so long. But you know what? It's not okay.
It is not.
It is not okay for anyone to abuse a woman or a man, a child, of any sexual, it doesn't matter if it's boy or girl. You don't touch other people. You just don't. It's wrong. And it's, you know what? It wasn't okay for me to think it's okay. It's just me, but you know what? You don't tell others because I was told that being the later on oldest of 4, that we would all 4 go to an orphanage and we would not be able to stay together. I felt, even at an early age, that I was the other 3's protector. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I protected. I would gather and we would all gather in the bathroom, and when they would fight, the worst, and I would just put them all in the bathtub and thought they were protected. And you know that flimsy little door didn't protect us. The good Lord must have been in that doorway, because they never busted through that door ever, ever. And I just no, I just protect my siblings were my responsibility, is what I thought, even as a young child. And it wasn't right, but you know what? I wasn't wrong, because who else is going to protect them? There was no one else. You know, back then where I was raised, no one got involved. Everyone looked the other way. No one.
And that's unfortunate, because, you know, and LaDonna, your screen is a little blurry right now, but there were people around. There were people that were adults in this situation, and they did nothing. And back in the day, silence was taught and acceptable. And we heard in our homes something that I really hope and pray will break. What goes on in the home stays in the home. And that's not always good. That's not good. You know, what goes on in the home is not supposed to, if it's bad, it should be reported. It should have, we as parents should always have a backup plan. Because if the parent is the perpetrator, the one who is supposed to protect, shield, and provide for, if they're the ones that's doing the bad deeds, there should be something in place where we can implement, and everybody will be safe in the home. But that wasn't your story.
That wasn't my story. You know, my parents, both of them came from very large families, 12 and 13 brothers and sisters. We lived in the city of a small town, neighbors on each side of our house. They knew what was going on. They seen the broken windows. They seen the bicycles thrown in the streets. They seen the yelling and the screaming, and they did nothing. But that is the way that we were brought up. What goes on behind closed doors stays behind closed doors. Because God forbid if we would embarrass the family coming from the people that were really the embarrassment.
Exactly. That's the puzzling thing, you know, that is such a puzzling thing, that they can make a rule to protect them, but not make rules to protect the children. Now, you as the oldest sibling, you had 3 under you, and then you said one was in heaven, right? So one of them, talk to me about that. But you as the oldest sibling, with all of that responsibility on your shoulders, I want to know how that made you feel as well.
Well, first of all, I was the firstborn, and then I have a brother that's only 18 months younger than me. And then within 2 years, my mother had another brother, and he only lived a day or two, and then he was premature. And you know, back then it was very hard for premature babies to make it in the world. His little heart didn't make it, and we are blessed that my mother took us to the graveyard every Sunday. I remember that. You know, just because they were horrible parents in some ways, there were some good things as well.
Yes, that's what I was going to ask you. Moving right along, what is one thing that you learned that was good from your parents?
I feel like my dad always was a giver. He would give the shirt off of his back and never think twice about it. He would always invite complete strangers. If they were hungry, they were welcome in the house. Never think a thing about it. If someone was broken down on the side of the road, he would stop and help. Never think a thing about it. He always provided for us as far as making sure we had the necessities. And my mother would give you the shirt on her back. Not get me wrong, but then she would remind you of it every time she seen you. That was the difference. He wouldn't say a word after he gave you that shirt, but my mother would. But my mother did always teach us, for us four kids, to be close, to take care of each other. She drummed it in our head, do not go to school and make an embarrassment out of our family. I mean, we were supposed to be on good behavior all the time, around the clock.
Around the clock, and that's what parents do. I'm going to remove you for a minute. They said it's lagging a little bit and it's blurry. So I'm going to go ahead and remove you, take care of that, and then come back. All right. All right. So this is a huge topic, and it's a lot of touchy subjects. I want to put on her book. I want you to go and purchase her book, and we're going to put this on the screen for you. She is the author of three. She's a visionary of 3 books, right? And one of them is the Cinderella monologue that you're looking at right now. All right, we're going to give me one moment. This is her website that you're looking at. All right. And she does cucumber cooler recipes. This is a good one I was looking at today. It says 4 large cucumbers, 1 handful of fresh mint leaves, and 2 cups of ice. Look at that. And doesn't it look really good? Appetizers and snacks, roast pumpkin seeds. That looks delicious. I don't know if it looks delicious to you. And here's the recipe for that. And she has a host of other items. Then she has a place where she sells on the marketplace, you all. And if you've never seen this before, it is amazing. I had the golden opportunity to be a guest on her selling on the spot marketplace. And if you would like to do business with her, she is licensed to do this. All right. She's looking for vendors as well. Whoever wants to promote your book, your product, you can set an appointment with her, and the links will be in the comment section as well. But this is her schedule, selling on the marketplace, and it's a host of other people on the marketplace, and you get to sit there and speak for about 2 minutes and tell the people from all over the world what product you have. She also have her Facebook, her YouTube channel that she wants you to go ahead and subscribe to. And then write a review. And she has a cookbook, recipes that she's advertising. Then she has swag. All right, this is the book she's selling. Isn't that a beautiful book? Look at that. Look at that. She is a jack of all trades. She's selling everything. She turned her sorrow into triumph. Yes, she did. I want to listen to this. Let's listen to this short video. Yeah, let me know.
Hey, good morning, everyone. This is LaDonna with Home Sweet Home Treasures, and I'm just showing you the packages going out today. Today is Wednesday, and getting ready to take all of this out to the mail, and wanted to show you where your swag, business cards, your advertisements, pins, notepads, stickies, magnets, whatever you may have could be put in these boxes. Just another way for you to get your name out, your email, phone number, whatever it is that you're wanting to advertise. So let's talk. Or you can go to homesweethometreasures.net and read about our swag program, and then fill out the contact information, and I will get back to you. I ship 6 days a week. That is Monday through Saturday. That is 6 days a week, which give us an average about 24 days a month, give or take, depending on how many days of the month there is. So that is how we calculate how many days that we ship per month. And that is how we charge for you to get your swag, advertisement pieces, business cards, whatever it is that you're wanting to advertise. Let's talk. Let's chat. All right. Have a beautiful day, everyone. See you later.
All right. And so, what inspired you to create a swag program? Victoria is asking.
Victoria, I'm glad you asked. I ship out so many boxes, and I just thought, wow, wouldn't it be wonderful? I give free gifts with every purchase. I get everyone else to send me their swag for $29 a month. I will put their swag in all of my packages, all wrapped up like a gift, like a huge free gift in a little party bag and everything. And the customers love it. And I ship everywhere in the United States and outside the United States. So your name is being told and shown everywhere. So I love that. I've had people send me koozies to put in the boxes, pins, just a little bit of everything. It's a remarkable program. And what a way for $29 a month to market yourself.
Exactly. And so, talk to them about showing up on your signing up for your marketplace if they have a product.
So I'm telling you, if you own a business of any kind, I don't care what kind it is, you need to be at my next Selling on the Spot marketplace on April 25th at 10 a.m. Central Time. And you're going to say, well, what am I going to do? Well, you're going to have 2 minutes at least to talk about a product that you want to sell, or maybe you're selling tickets to an event. Maybe you're giving away tickets to an event. Maybe you're just wanting to connect with people and you're going to give 30 minutes free of your time to talk to other people about your products. We've had people, if you create wreaths and sell them, be at my marketplace. If you sell Mary Kay, Avon, Tupperware, I'm just throwing out things. If you are a clothing line, it doesn't matter what you sell. We have all kinds of people, but we don't have enough. We just don't have enough. We need you to want to connect with like-minded business people that are there for the same reason, to help each other build their businesses. And it is a remarkable program. If you love it, it's a great way, another way for you to get to know people and just expand your business exponentially and quickly. And no borders, no boundaries.
Very good. Now we're going to look at your website. Can you tell us about your website? You always say Mondays, Mojo at 6 o'clock Central Standard Time, 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Can you tell us about this?
Yes, every Monday night at 6 p.m. Central, I do what's called a Monday Mojo. And I'm always saying, where's your mojo? Where did it go? Let's find it. On Mondays, let's start your week out perfectly with a big old smile. Your mindset is positive. You're ready to kick the world and be and you know what? And continue to do that until I see you the next Monday. There's not enough happiness in our world. We need to be happy. We need to
Exactly.
share a smile. Smiles are free. Share them.
So who does your content for you?
I do. I do
You
all of my content. Yes.
awesome. Awesome.
Yes.
And then who are these precious little babies that we see over here?
Well, now that is my Bryson. He is my youngest of 4 grandbabies. The other 3 are teenagers, so they no longer want to get their pictures taken. But he
Exactly.
just turned 4, and he makes my heart tickle, let me tell you.
Oh,
Full of joy, full of joy.
that is so nice. Thank you so much for sharing your website with us and your Facebook page. We would like for you to subscribe to LaDonna's YouTube channels. And that's right. Victoria said no boundaries, right?
Right.
And we would like for you to follow by clicking her name in this message. You will be able to go ahead and follow every link that LaDonna has. Very good. She said beautiful page.
Thank you, Victoria.
Yes. Now, LaDonna, do you have a favorite quote?
You know what? I do have a favorite quote that I made up myself. Be kind to one another. Be kind to our children and nurture them along the way.
Now, that's a mouthful. Be kind to our children and nurture them along the way. Children are innocent beings. And I've often heard I think in the 70s, maybe, they came up with a saying that says, I didn't ask to be born. If the audience have ever heard that statement, I want you to put a 1 in the comment section. I never asked to be born. If your children said it to you, if you've said it yourself, if you heard it from anybody else, I want to know. Put it in the comment section. I never asked to be born. I heard my sister say it, and I was so heartbroken for my mom when she said it, because whenever you hear that statement, it's never good, you know? So have you ever heard that statement before? Have you ever said it?
You know, I've heard it. I've never said that statement, but I did have a similar statement. And I know we're not supposed to, I was taught not to ask the good Lord why.
Mm-hmm.
But I know, especially when I was younger, I would say, Lord, why did you choose me to be born to my parents?
Mm-hmm.
Did I have to be the one to go through the torment that I've had to? And you know what? Do I have the true answer to that? I don't know, but I do remember my mother, again, even though they were horrible when they were horrible, there were still some good things. She taught us kids to don't ask for more than what we have, because we have what we need. But she always said, God will always provide, and he will never give us more than what we can handle. But boy, what a horrible experience that I had to go through and handle. And for so long, I said, why me? Why was I chosen? And now what am I supposed to do with it?
Right.
And then I figured it out. I'm supposed to make sure that I don't continue to be like them, that I will be happier. I will not treat my children that way.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't a perfect mom. I'm not a perfect mom now, but I'm a pretty good mom comparing to what I went through. And my grandchildren are just blessings. And, you know, I never wanted to have children. And Sandra, you may say, but why? I didn't know how to be a good parent. How was I going to be a good parent? I didn't have true role models to look at. But the good Lord sent me my husband when I was 15 years old. We met right after the tragedy of everything coming to an end in the sexual abuse. I finally stood up for myself, and I did not let go. And here we are, 43 years later from meeting, and he's been my rock. He's brought me through a lot. But I know what, I just don't, the reason I wrote my chapter and I'm speaking about it, it's not for me. It's for, if I could just touch one person's life from being here tonight, Sandra, what a light. You know, just know you do not, as a mom or child, you do not have to stay in this kind of environment.
Exactly.
There are so many resources ready and willing to help you. You just have to know that you're worth standing up for. And no, it's not your job, and it's, you weren't meant to be put on this earth to put up with the abuse as a parent or the child.
We have a question here from Victoria. What was the moment in your life when you said, that's why God let me go through this? Has that moment happened yet?
Yes. It was the birth of my first daughter. My husband wanted a baby so badly. And it's not that I didn't want a baby. Of course I wanted a family. But I was so scared. But he guaranteed me that we would make great parents. And we have made great parents. But when I looked at that baby girl that I just gave natural birth to at a whopping 9 pounds, 3.5 weeks late, I looked at her in my arms and I said, how in the world could someone hurt a child like this? I held on to her. There is no way I would ever let anyone hurt her that I knew about. And I don't care who they were. And then 3 years later, I had another 10-pound natural birth baby girl again.
Wow.
And I thought to myself, wow, how amazing is that? To give life to 2 baby girls as healthy as health could be. And, you know, that really said to me, this is what I'm supposed to do. I am supposed to make sure the abuse no longer continues in my family. And, you know, I always disliked that saying that said, the apple don't fall far from the tree. Yes, it does. The apple will fall as far as you want to throw it. You know, because I'm not like my parent in so many ways. Now, I am like them in some ways, but not in that cycle. That's right, Victoria. Break that cycle. You be the one. Stand up and you shout it out and know you're not alone.
I'm happy for your courage. Your courage to speak about such a topic is huge. We appreciate the fact that you're honest and transparent and you're telling us, you know, we discussed it earlier today, and you told me something about your emotions and thoughts about your parents. What is that?
I truly, at this point in my life, I have not recovered to say that I love my parents. I truly hate my parents. I hate them. And I know that's bad. And I know that. It's not that I don't know. I just, you know, and Sandra did share some light on that when I told her, because I know it broke her heart, because we're not supposed to hate. We are supposed to forgive so that we can heal and we can move on through our life. But I'm just not to that point yet. I'm still at that point where I'm healed as much as I think I can be healed, except for that. Because I can talk about it and I can speak about it. And I'm so proud that I can do that, because I am a giving person. I want to help others. I want to scream it out at the top of my lungs, the rooftops of all the kingdoms on earth, that men, women, boys, girls, children, adults, whoever you are, from wherever you are, you don't have to live a life like that. You are worth standing up for. And I didn't learn that until the tragedy of the things I went through with my father.
When we come back, we're going to talk about how old they were when they deceased. Thank you so much. Right now, we have a commercial that we're going to go ahead and put on here because we have sponsors, and we're asking all of you, if you would like to become a sponsor, go right ahead and become a sponsor tonight. You can do that. All right. Our first sponsor is he's a doctor, and he has been interviewed on the show before, and his name is Bishop Walton. Bishop Walton is the author of 4 books. He also hosts a show, It's My Turn Now. So when you go on his show, he's going to have you to come on, and you must say, it's my turn now. Isn't that cool? That is so cool. So we want you to tune into him every Monday. Every Monday, you get to go and tune in to listen to his show. And if you want to interview, please go ahead and sign up with Dr. Anthony Walton. It's your turn now. Support him on Facebook, YouTube, and StreamYard when every Monday at 8 o'clock, you should see him on Facebook, StreamYard, and YouTube. Thank you so much for that. We have to recognize one more sponsor while we're waiting. Give me one moment. And our next sponsor is Kim Jacobs with the Kim Jacobs Show. Kim Jacobs is one of our sponsors, and she is performing. There you go. Much better, much better, much better. Thank you so much. So yes, they have questions. Yes, we thank God for every sponsor. And if you want to sponsor on the show to make us happy and to smile and to keep us going, feel free to come and sponsor the show. And we have a sponsorship program for various groups, and surely one of them will at least fit your pocket. All right. So LaDonna, you were saying that you don't forgive them, and you're having trouble even saying that you love them. I, as a host, of course, we had our talk, and I know what you went through with. It's devastating. And what I will say is everybody heals at their own pace. And I can't rush your healing. I cannot push you to healing. But everybody in the audience, if you're still going through this and you're having difficulty, what I would like for you to do is to go and get Louise Hay audiobooks. Louise Hay has several audiobooks out there that will help you mend and to heal from your issues that you have suffered. All right. I want you to talk about what you're doing to help others that are in this same boat.
I want to be their voice to let them know they don't have to do it. To take that burden off of you, stand up and say, no more. I'm done. I'm put on this earth for more than the abuse. And I don't want my children seeing me abused. I don't want my children abused, no matter what abuse it is. Back in October, I fell and I broke my arm. I went to the emergency room. I went to the doctor, the specialist, the surgeon, rehabilitation, whatever. But so many of us do not heal our minds. We don't do what we need to do to heal here. The way we think to be a voice. God gave us a brain. He gave us a mouth. Let's use them. Let's use them. Be the voice. And that's what I want to be. You know, when it took it took tragedy for me to finally stand up to my parents. I was a whopping early 15-year-old. And it was scary, but I did it. I had had enough, and I wasn't going to go through this anymore ever. And I'm so glad that I finally said enough is enough. And I just hope that I can just reach out and grab a hold of you that is listening now or listening later. Just stop. Just stop all of it. And if you know someone is being abusive, get them some help. Get them some help. Maybe they need the help. I'm not saying they're worth the help, but maybe they need it. Maybe they can live a better life. Maybe they can do some kind of recovery program. I don't know the answer for them. I know that my dad never got help. He never thought he needed help. My mom never received help. She never thought she needed help. I'm sorry, if you are an abuser of any way, you need some help. So get it. Save your family. Help another person. But you know what? It's truly, my voice is for the victim at this point. I feel like that is my calling, that I need to reach out and grab a hold and give someone that the leash to get out. You know, it's okay to feel uncomfortable. You know, we live uncomfortable lives. It's just the way it is every time we learn something. So just grab a hold and get out of the situation, whatever it may be. Thank you, Victoria. It truly is from my heart. And I truly I want to help others. I want to help others. I don't want you to think you're alone. You're not alone.
Very good. Thank you so much. We're going to take a small break and bring in a video from Kim Jacob.
A celebration of life. Richard Daily balances. Kim Jacob's country way. We're here to open your eyes.
Can you hear that?
Making your day great and your life even better. Say, oh, Daily Balance. Richard Daily Balance. Daily Balance. Richard Daily Balance.
Hello, everybody. I'm excited about today's show. We have a very special guest, and we're going to spend the entire show with him. Please welcome the one, the only Dominique Wilkins.
Hey,
Dominique.
how are you?
I gotta get on my tiptoes to hug you.
So I make sure my son understands at his age, it's not about winning and losing, it's what you learn.
That's right. My son just recently made the middle school football team, and he's tossing my husband's tossing him around. I'm like, give him a break.
Oh, no,
He
no.
said, oh, no.
No, you got to hit him. You got to hit him a couple of times.
That's
Oh,
crazy.
You got to knock him down, step on him a few times. Let him feel the pain a little bit. My son did
I'm
not.
opposed to this philosophy. A mother never agrees with this. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome my friends Emmett and Pat Smith.
I like to tell people football actually chose me.
Oh, yeah.
in a lot of ways, but my heart has always been drawn to the sport.
You have yours, you have mine, and you have ours. So you have a whole blended family, and our audience needs to know, how in the world do you deal with the kids, 4 children, the challenges that come along with that, the whole blended family thing? How are you balancing that?
Oh. It's not easy. Trust me, not by any stretch of the imagination is it easy.
We don't use step in our house.
No, we don't.
So it's my brother, it's my sister.
Oh,
okay.
That's good.
Yeah, we don't do that.
Yeah, it's not my stepmom, it's Mommy Pat. That's what it's going to be. You're going to call her Mommy Pat, period.
Okay.
And you're not going to disrespect my wife.
And you're not going to disrespect my husband.
Period.
Bottom line. So we stay lockstep.
Exactly.
Good.
And I think when you have that foundation of love,
Yes.
then you can discipline
Right.
because they know it's coming from that place.
I got the rest of my life to live.
Mm-hmm.
Let me have a little bit of fun. And part of that fun is in the helping people.
Yes.
And if you're helping people, you're not scared.
Mm-hmm.
You can't be scared and help people at the same time.
I'm Kim Jacobs. Thank you so much for tuning in to Daily Balance, where we're making your day great and your life even better. See you next time. Oh, thank you.
Kim is the balance doctor. We thank God for her. She's a sponsor for this month. And we thank you for all your donations that you have sent in this month. We want to tell you thank you as well. We thank you for each person that has subscribed to the YouTube channel. Go ahead and tell a friend to subscribe. We need at least 1,000 before this month is over. Can you help us make 1,000? Oh my gosh, I would love you for that. All right. So in the comment section, they are telling you various things, and they said you can tell that you are speaking from your heart, right? They're clapping about you being such a transparent guest, telling the truth, just telling the truth about your experience. Can you hold up your other books for me? You have Cinderella Monologue, yes, but you also have this one. Tell us in the mic. Can you hear? Yes.
The stories of us, our beautiful, messy lives. And it's just a continuance of the Cinderella monologue. And then I have Live Life in Wow.
I like that title. And tell us a little bit about that.
Live Life in Wow, I chose to forward on to when my college student daughter, my oldest one, announced, "Oh, Mom, I don't know what we're going to do. I'm pregnant." And how we handled it with grace and gratitude and with love and with, we gave her choices. We told her choices. We told her that she gets to make up what she wants to do and how she wants to handle it. But I still remember me telling her, no matter what choice that you make, this one choice is going to change the rest of your life. And guess what?
What?
My grandson, my oldest grandson, will be 18 years old come October.
Congratulations. Yeah. That is amazing. I need you to pray. What?
We didn't know we needed him. We didn't know we wanted him. But the good Lord above gave us exactly what we needed.
No, this one says God gives us the ingredients for our daily lives, but he expects us to do the baking. Isn't that amazing?
Amazing. And I love that phrase.
And so when we go through our, our challenges and we want to throw in the towel, we want to give up, we want to say, why me? We must always know that God gives us things that we can handle. And God thought big of you. And that's my take on your situation. God thought big of you. He said, LaDonna can handle this, and she's going to learn how to navigate through this horrific experience, and she's going to be a light to her family. Look at you. Dynamics of the family structure. So now your daughters, you prevented others, right? Now your daughters do not have to experience that, right? And so you're here to be a voice for others to stop the abuse. And if
Oh
you,
no, we do not do abuse.
that's right. And so if you are here just for that, if you had to go through all that you went through so you can stop the path of other girls and boys being molested, that's a good assignment.
It is. And you know what? I want to comment. I seen something went across earlier and I forgot to comment. And it's dear to my heart. Someone said something about a lot of people that go through something like this would commit suicide. I want anyone out there listening that's even thinking about that. If you can't think higher of yourself right now in this moment, think about the ones that love you around you. Because my dad committed suicide when he was 50 years old.
Wow.
I was in my later 30s when that happened, the oldest of four. So I was young, but my siblings were even younger. But you know what? I wish he would have just stopped and thought about what it was going to do to everyone around him. His
Yes.
brothers that found him, us four children, his wife at the time. It's not just about you. And I don't mean that to be insensitive. If you don't think high enough about yourself right now, this minute, and you want to do something like that, just think about the people that love you, your mom, your dad, your brother, your sister, your neighbor, your friends, whoever, coworkers, and just go get the help that you need. Somebody is reaching out to you to say, please stop. You're abusing yourself and you're abusing the people around you. And if you're doing it because you're being abused, just know you're better than that. You're better than that. You're worth more than that. You know, God put us here for a reason. We may not have figured it out yet, but you will.
Wow. LaDonna, can you answer this question from Victoria?
Know that the adults around didn't stick up to protect you. Can you put into words the way that made you feel? Yes. It made me feel unloved, uncared for. It made me feel almost guilty. Why didn't they love me?
Come on.
Why didn't they love me? Why aren't I good enough for them? You know, for years and years, I would set myself up to fail by going, I'm going to make better grades to make them happy. I'm going to be a good girl to make them happy. I'm going to, take care of my siblings when I'm 8, 9 years old to make them happy. When all I would do is fail, because no matter what I did, it wouldn't make them happy. It wouldn't make them happy. The day those two people deceased, they were not happy with me.
Really?
And I was not with my father when he died, but, I was on vacation. I stopped my vacation as soon as my brother called me. I had to leave my children and husband. I had to fly home. I was there as fast as the airports would take me. When my mother was sick, I was at her bedside, even though I don't like her. And the hate is there. Again, being the oldest, it's my job. Now, my baby sister took care of my mom when she was dying. She still lived at home. She took care of her. I did not do that. I would not have done that. I would have helped pay for someone to do that, but I couldn't care for her. But I didn't live near her either. But I was there when the doctor would say, okay, I think, the end is near. I would, take off with the airplane or drive or whatever. And I was at her bedside when she died.
Oh, wow.
And, again, you have to do what makes you feel good.
You do.
And my husband said, why are you going to his funeral? Because that's where I need to be.
Mm-hmm.
For me, not for him, for me.
You're helping people.
My children, my husband did not go, but I was there. When my mother passed, my girls were older. They were in high school. They were there when my mother passed, and they were there at the funeral with me. Not for her, for me, for my children. I had to teach my children, my daughters, be strong women.
Mm.
Be strong. I raised two strong women. And my son-in-law that's married to my youngest daughter will tell you, Christy is a strong woman. She keeps me in shape around here.
That is amazing. What were your last words to your mom?
I just, there wasn't a lot of words because she was on morphine. She couldn't really grasp what we were saying. But every once in a while, the words weren't there, but I would show as much love as I could. I remember her wanting an orange ice cream. So I went down to the cafeteria and got orange ice cream and brought it back upstairs, orange sherbet. She only had a teaspoon of it, but you know what? That was my way of showing I'm doing what I should be doing. I'm showing you as much as I can that I care. It wasn't that I didn't care. And she died a very horrible death, gasping, pulmonary lung disease, tuberculosis was setting in, and that's a horrible disease to die from. But I was there.
I admire your strength for even being there under the circumstances. And you said your daughter is a powerful, strong woman. I would venture to say she got it from her mom.
They're
Because
both very strong. When
yes,
there's men in their life, they put them in their place. No, this is my house. This is my car. These are my children. This is, they have to work on that because it's not all theirs, but that's their way to say, I'm strong. And, what is that saying about they got a tight ship, they run a tight ship.
they said they love your accent. She's from Alabama, Arkansas. She's from Arkansas.
Originally from Arkansas, but I've been in Texas for 35 years now. So
yes. So they said they love your accent. So Victoria said, my friend let me know when her abusive father died, she was surprisingly broken and crying. Did your reaction shock you when that was not your response?
You know what? It really didn't. What did shock me is when I found out he died, I thought, he did not shoot himself. There's no way. There's no way he would do that, And then, of course, you have to have a closed casket when that happens. So you don't get to say, you say your goodbyes that you don't really see. So that closure is never there. But you know what? That is just the way I guess it was supposed to be. I literally almost wanted to open that casket and shake him. I know that's horrible, but I wanted to say, why did you do that to us? Have you not done enough? Because when you commit suicide, it's not just about you. It's about everyone around you. And we didn't really get to say goodbye. And
if you had said goodbye,
hurt my brothers a lot.
If you were to say goodbye, what would you have said?
You know what? I probably wouldn't have spoken, just like I didn't really speak to my mom. I would have just been there next to him on his bedside, doing what a good daughter should do.
I commend you. I totally commend you. She said, at least you spoke up rather than to stay quiet. And she says, I love your honesty so much. It is so refreshing to hear. But at least you would have had the opportunity. So yeah, so many people make a choice not to even go when their parents deceased or their loved ones deceased. And so when I see you, you said I stopped everything. You were on vacation and you stopped everything. You made a decision that you weren't going to take your children, your husband, because it wasn't about them. It was about you receiving the closure that you needed to receive from parents that abused you and parents that did not take up for you, parents that did not choose to put you all first. They put themselves first. And that was selfish of them, of course. I think you're going to be all right. I
I'm gonna
think,
be I'm gonna be the grandest
yes, yes,
giver. And I
yes,
want people to know, Sandra, if you see anyone or hear of anyone that's going through this, give them my phone number. Have
yes.
them call me, text me, reach out to me. At least I'll be a shoulder to cry on. Maybe I can help you with some resources. You know, there's so many ways out in this world now that really weren't as much back then
Hmm.
as there is now. But I don't want anyone to think that abuse is still not going on, because it
Oh
is.
gosh. Yes,
It is. You know,
yes.
I never believed when this happened to me. I can still remember exactly the first time and why and how and what happened and everything, just like it's happening again today. But I'm a
Mm.
stronger woman now. I'm not a
Yes,
10-year-old baby anymore. And that's on him.
yes.
That's not on me. And for
And
so
so
many
that's,
years, I carried
yeah.
it that it's on me
Oh no, it's
because,
not on you. Mm-mm.
I will not accept that it's my fault. I was
No,
told, well, maybe you shouldn't wear the bathing suit around him. That's my father.
that's your father.
You shouldn't wear shorts that are so short around him. That's someone that's supposed to love me unconditionally, no matter what I do, say, wear, walk. My two children and my grandchildren and my husband, even my son in law, I love unconditionally. Make mistakes, still gonna love you, still gonna be here, gonna root you on, gonna help you through it.
Wow. What gave you the fortitude to complete your story?
I wanted to shout it out. I want to help others. I want to help in the fight.
Yes,
I will not say
exactly.
it will be easy, but it
No.
can be done.
How did you get out of the house that you were abused in? And is that house still there? And do you ever go back to visit?
Okay, so I did have to stay there till I was 18 years old because that's the law in Arkansas. Back then, I don't know what it is now. I graduated high school in May. I got married in May, and I moved to Texas in May.
Well, May is next month, and I hope you celebrate like crazy. Oh my
Of
God.
course, it'll be my 40th wedding anniversary, and
Oh
we were
wow.
together during high school for 3 years. The love of my life, my very best friend.
Oh
And
wow.
he did not judge me. You know, the doctor that I was seeing knew what was going on. And he told me, don't tell him before you get married. Oh no, I told my husband before we got married. I wasn't going to start a marriage like that. No way.
Wow.
Because dang it, it's death do us part.
That's right. She said, "Death do us part." I'm so happy that he, at a young age, we skipped a whole part. We skipped a whole part, you all, and we're going to talk about it briefly. Our time is up, but we're going to extend it just a bit. When you were 15 years old, something happened to you during this process of your dad sleeping with you, taking
Yes.
advantage of
So
you,
the abuse started
molesting.
when I was 10, when my mom decided to leave and take the two youngest babies with her and leave us two oldest ones with my dad. I remember it. And then for 5 years off and on. Well, guess what? I didn't know anything I didn't think about birth control. I didn't think about any of that. That was my dad. And I don't know why. I know where babies come from. I know how it happens, but I wasn't thinking. And I become pregnant. And my parents wanted me to have the baby and give it to them. Absolutely not. That is when I stood up for my set and said no. I stood up. I can tell you I was like a beast. My back straight up. And I said, no way. No way. And the doctor didn't even turn them in. That's how critical this is.
Wow.
The doctor knew. I told him, he was our doctor for years and years, a family doctor. And he wanted me to give the baby up for adoption. And then I'm like, that would completely disrupt my life because of my dad. Why give him that privilege? And then what if something's wrong with the baby, since it was, from molestation? And how much more can my mind be scarred? So I made a critical decision. I said, I'm getting an abortion. And they said, absolutely not. I said, no, I'm getting an abortion. I will put myself in front of a big truck before I have this baby. And I had an abortion. And the doctors that gave me the abortion in Little Rock knew. And they did not turn my parents in. So that tells you how
What?
silly the world is.
One challenge after the next, after the next. But my joy is that you made it through, that you didn't end up in an insane asylum. You didn't end up on Skid Row. You didn't end up, you said you grew up into massive poverty. You could have walked that walk and talked that talk, but something inside of you was bigger than you. And I would venture to say it was God, and He had the plan that has been orchestrated in your life. And you probably cannot see it from where I'm looking from my vantage point. But what I see is God fixed it where you don't have to cry anymore. You don't have to worry and become afraid anymore, worrying somebody is going to do something against your will, because He blessed you with a husband, your childhood sweetheart. You've been married for what, 40 years? That is unheard of. You have two beautiful daughters, and you thought you weren't capable of being a mother because all of these things that happened to you back to back. But God turned it. And listen, you said your dad died a horrible death. He died at the age of
50.
50 years old. Your mom died a horrible death. She didn't protect you. My goodness. And like you said, I can't even imagine, because I will fight tooth and nail for my babies, right? I have 9 beautiful children, and I've had to keep them safe and protect them. And I did that. So I don't
And you will
understand.
continue to do that, right? No matter the
Yes,
age.
yes, no
Do
matter the
not
age.
mess with my family.
I remember, and I'm going to share this with you, and then we're going to end the show. I remember years and years ago, my son Brandon came to me and he said, Mommy, a little girl, her name was Paige, in school said, you need to go back to Africa. And he was in first grade. Exactly. You see that? He was in first grade. And when he told me, the mother in me went to that school the next morning. I found that little girl and I told her, I asked her first, I said, did you tell my son to go back to Africa? And she said, yes. I said, you better not ever, as long as you live, ever say anything negative to my child. I went to the teacher and I told the teacher, you know what the teacher said? She's just like the parents that were around and did not do anything to defend you. She said, oh, Paige wouldn't do that. And Paige had already told me she did it. You see what I'm saying? But we have an obligation as parents to do the due diligence to protect our children. And that's what we're going to close on. Each parent that is out there, if you're living in this situation, if your husband is sleeping with your children, That is not right. And you have an obligation as a mother to stand up and take the glasses, the blindfolds off. Because that's what's happening. The blindfolds are on. It's so horrific. They don't know what to do. And we were talking about this. What would make a mother not protect her child? Fear. Fear that she's going to lose the whole family. Fear that she will have nowhere to go. Fear that they won't have any food to eat. What was your take on that?
There's no excuse for abusing a child.
No
I'm
excuse.
sorry, there's no excuse. And I know that's going to hit hardcore with someone, but I'm telling you from a child that has went through this, please stop. Stop. It's not about you. Go to work 5 jobs, get help, go back home with your parents, a sister, a brother, go to a home for a shelter for a short term with your children. It's not forever, but at least your children wouldn't be abused.
Right.
That some children never get over. And, and your mind is never right after something like that. I can't, I'm healed as much as I can heal, except for the hate, I believe in my heart. But am I the same girl that I should have been at 10 years old? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And not just the sexual abuse, any kind of abuse. It's your responsibility as a parent, a dad, a mom, an aunt, an uncle, a grandparent. And I'm going to tell you, when you said something about Africa, and I know we're way past our time, but I have to say something. I was raised in an all, what do I say?
White.
My little town was all white. There was no other race in my town when growing up. It's not like that now. The next town over was a college town. Of course, there were all different kinds of races. But in our town, there was none. I told myself something. When I grow up and have children, they will not know color.
Exactly.
And they do not. My girls do not look at color. They look at behavior.
Exactly.
My grandchildren do not look at color. They look at behavior. We taught them that. That came from the heart. That came from us. You will treat people equally. I don't care where they live, what they live in. I don't care if they're homeless, they're on a bus, as long as they're doing the best they can do. But when you don't do the best you can do, it's hard. It's hard, but you can do it. Put the hammer down and get out.
Exactly. You talked about one more thing and then we're going to go. You talked in this book. I want you all to go and purchase the book. Who's going to get this book tonight? I want someone to purchase the Cinderella monologue tonight. This book, I write 22 authors, and I'm also in this book. There's 22 authors, and they're telling their stories about survival. And it's called the Cinderella monologue for a reason, because she started off like that, but she's no longer like that. But in this book, you all, we're going to give you a little bit of sauce. I know you're like, how much sauce can I take in one night, right? But what we're going to close out with this one last piece. But for the rest of the book in the chapter, you're going to have to purchase the book. There's a lot of juicy stories in here. I'm just going to say, all right, a lot of juicy stories. People are sharing their life and how they grew up, you all, and you would not believe it. I mean, I'm still, my mind is boggled right now just reading her story alone.
And you didn't even hear it all. You didn't even hear it all.
Exactly. But you talked about your dad getting a job and that he worked many jobs to take care of the family because he was a hard worker. Now, that's a good quality, and I recommend all men to become, hard workers.
And he taught all of us to be like that. All 4 of us kids are hard workers.
And so we want to point out the good qualities that your dad had, the good qualities your mom had, because it's not all bad. And that's one mistake people make. They point the finger. My parents were bad. My parents, But no, they had some good in them, right? And I want to talk about this particular day. You said he worked hard. He got a job at a pop factory or something.
Mm-hmm.
And you said you moved into a new house. You all were excited. It wasn't the best house, but it was better than where you left, right? And all of a sudden, he began to bring in what?
He brought in Dr. Peppers and orange drinks, and he was supposed to be building a porch in the back and me a bedroom, because there was 4 kids in a 2-bedroom house at that time, and the baby was in their room in the crib, my sister. I slept on the bottom bunk bed with my brother that's 8 years younger than me, so he was probably 2 years old when he started sleeping there. And then my brother, closer in age, slept on the top bunk. All of us in it. So he was supposed to be building me a bedroom and a back porch. Well, he just kept bringing in drinks, bringing in cases. Well, one night the red, white, and blue lights showed up,
Wow.
because I guess they decided the plant started missing all of those cases of drinks. I mean, but we never went hungry. We always had clothes. They weren't always new clothes. We went to yard sales every Saturday, and I still love going to yard sales.
How long was it before he was able to come back into the home? Because when they arrested him,
He was
now,
back the next day.
oh, cool. Thank you, Jesus.
Now
So
we might have starved a little bit if he wouldn't have.
that's what I'm saying. Yeah. So we appreciate that.
We always had a roof over our head. It was never clean. My mom never kept the house clean. She was a stay-at-home mom, but the house was never clean.
And you
The
say
laundry was never done.
Wow.
But she cooked 3 meals a day. Biscuits and gravy in the morning, cook him lunch. All those dishes would be waiting on me when I got home. I was the dishwasher. We did not have one. And then at night, we had a full course dinner again. I just say, they can't hurt anyone anymore. And it stopped. My brothers are beautiful parents. My sister's a wonderful mom. For where we came from, we are wonderful parents. So,
but the thing is, the abuse, I want to paint the picture. If you are a perpetrator, I want you to go and get help.
Yes, please. Because you need help.
There's something wrong. It doesn't stop.
No.
He did not only abuse her sister, her cousins, her friends. So if you don't speak up and talk and say that this person is doing something wrong to you, they can also abuse someone else. So don't be afraid to talk and to tell on your perpetrator. Tonight, it must stop. The abuse must stop. I've talked to more women in the last month that have shared their stories of abuse from the age of 6 years old. Your body has not even formed yet. And your innocence someone is robbing you of your innocence. If that is happening to you, I want you to know we're praying for you. And if you can reach out to us, we will direct you to the right place to receive the help that you need. I want to encourage you, you are not alone. Someone is out there that can help you and to strengthen you, to encourage you, to set you on a better path, just like LaDonna. She had an abortion because she got pregnant from her dad, raped from the age of 6 years old to the age of 15 years old. Then she married her childhood sweetheart and had a family of their own. And God turned the tables. They're no longer poor. They are no longer poor. So God can do, there's a saying that my mom used to say, God works in mysterious ways and wonders to perform. And you often wonder, why did I go through that? Why did I go through that? But he said he won't put any more on you than you're able to bear. And so he allowed you to get out of that abuse, and he put you in the arms of someone that could love you for a lifetime. I want you to go and celebrate the month of May from midnight, all right,
Yes, ma'am.
to the midnight of the next month. You deserve celebration, all right? Congregation, listen, audience, can you give some love, some hearts, some dialogue to our guest tonight, LaDonna? You made it through, baby. You're here to tell the story, and we appreciate you. I have one more question. If there was one person in your life that you wanted to speak to, who would it be and what would you say?
It would be my grandmother. I was very close to her before I married and left. And I would want to ask her, did you know? I never talked to her about it. I was never allowed to. I don't know if she knew. I almost think probably everyone knew just because, there was so many circumstances. And then I don't know if it would make me sadder or happier, but at least I would know. But by the time I became the age and healed enough to really ask her, she was gone.
Ooh, this brings me a question. Are you ecstatic about life now?
Oh, yes. I love life. I love life. People will say, well, you're getting older. Aren't you scared of dying? No, I am not scared. I have lived a fulfilled life and I plan on doing a whole lot more living. As long as I'm healthy, I'm just going to keep living.
Where's your next vacation? I love it.
You know what? I'm hoping that my husband gets to retire in about a year and a half to 2 years. And we really want to do a lot of traveling. We've
Yeah,
done a lot of traveling, but we want to do more. To
yeah.
say, okay, we could be gone 2 weeks if we want, or 3 weeks if we want, and just go because our kids are grown. I mean,
Oh,
we're still here for them any given time. They just call and I'm there. I'm there. Not a question asked. I'm there. What can I do? How can I help? But to know that they've reached that age where they really are grown. And my grandkids, they're there. Mommies are very well taking care of them, and my son-in-law helps. And it's just we are a very loving family.
that's awesome.
Very loving.
I'm so happy that this is a great story, a great ending, and those of you that's in the thick of it right now, there is hope. Look at her face, all right? She's the face of a survivor. And just like she survived and God delivered her out of that madness, he's going to deliver you too. I'm just going to say a brief word of prayer. Father, in the name of Jesus, we love and appreciate you for who you are and for what you're doing. No, we don't understand everything and we don't have the answers. And sometimes we ask you questions like, why? And I know you understand our questions because you said in your word that you have been touched with the feeling of our infirmities. Father, whoever is being abused right now, we pray for them that they will have the strength to leave and to walk away, and that you would put them on a path of healing and wholeness. We thank you tonight for this show and for LaDonna. God bless her family continuously, and I thank you for keeping them safe and changing the trajectory of her life and her siblings' life, God. You are faithful and we trust you, and we want to lean in closer and closer to you today than we've ever leaned in before. Father, we love you and adore you. In Jesus' mighty name we pray. Amen, Amen. Amen. Good night, everybody. Thank you, LaDonna. All is
Be
well.
strong. Get strong.
Amen. You heard it from the one and only LaDonna McAbee. God bless you. Bye-bye. Good night.